have Dr. Dolores Zumbado, who is a chiropractor, and she also owns her own weight loss clinic. She studied biochemistry and nutrition in her undergraduate work, and she is an obesity advocate. So she is phenomenal, and I can't wait for you to hear what Dr. Z has to share with us tonight.
Right. Hi, everybody. Let's see, let me pull up a slide here. So, sort of, some backstory. When I did start studying human nutrition in the 80s, I was 10. No, actually, I was older than 10. But anyway, um, and back then I was pretty dogmatic about not needing supplements because everything you learn at that time is if you're having a balanced, healthy diet and you're eating enough food, you don't need nutrients. And in fact, the only time they say you do need nutrients is if you're on a very restricted diet. So fast forward now, we're in the 21st century. I found I was wrong about that, really walked a lot of that back. And there's a few things that are happening here. Even if you're eating a balanced, healthy diet, we are not getting the nutrients that we need from food alone. There's reasons for that. It's our agricultural system, how food is grown and is being genetically modified, and and additives and all of those things. But we are also not having the source of, the soil is depleted. So we're not getting the nutrients that we need from food. On top of that, many of us, especially as we age, we have gut absorption problems. So we're just not getting enough from our food. So at the very base of everything, what I want to say on the record is, even if you're having a balanced, healthy diet, you need some core things that that just to give you that baseline health. Some of them are on the screen here, and some of these things right now are very hot. These are over and above, your vitamin B, your B vitamins, your A, D, E, and K, and that. But there are all kinds of things now that we know are really phytonutrients that really help us live a better life. And so we are living longer. The question is, what's the quality of that life going to be? And so at the very least, you've got to find a very good multivitamin or vitamin system. And the practitioners on this call, we've all kind of found this one company that we really like, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. It's not the only one out there. There are others, but if you're going to be doing these GLP1s, as Renee said, you're not going to be hungry, right? So there's a few things that you're going to need to do. One is prioritizing protein to make sure that you're not getting the muscle loss. And the other is that if you're not eating very much because you're not hungry, you really have to have the nutrients. And, I know a lot of folks, these times are tough, prices are soaring on everything, but I'm just going to say, there are so many supplements out there that do not meet the criteria of being third-party tested, having better absorption so that you're actually absorbing them. So, I know you can go to Costco and you can get protein powder at a certain price, you can get vitamins at a certain price, but remember, these things are food, and many of the supplements that you get are synthetic, or if they are, they're not controlled by the FDA or monitored by the FDA, so you don't know really what's in the product. And 80% of the time, what they say is in the product is not actually in the product. So, you gotta choose wisely. So there's some that the practitioners on this call, we really like to see you using. The company that we are all related or associated with is this company, THREE, for very good reasons. We can see at the top right there that they've done studies on this product. This product is found in the PDR, which is the physician's digital reference. To get in the PDR, there have to be certain studies. that are available, and all of the nutrients and all of these products have been, again, third-party tested and studied. And you can see there at the top right is that they've got these great delivery systems. You know, just because there's a certain amount of vitamin C in the product doesn't mean that your body is going to be able to break it down and absorb it. And so what that graph on the top right is showing you is the amount of absorption compared to a controlled standard. And just the short version of this, because I'm limited on time, is that your absorption of these nutrients with these products are going to be 3 to 10 times higher than your traditional supplement. So, and I'll go through each of them, but I want to focus a little bit on an epigenetic study that was done by this company, THREE. And so if you're not sure what epigenetics are, everybody knows what genes are in genetics, right? But epigenetics, that prefix epi means around, above, upon. So it's not necessarily genetics, it's kind of around genetics. And the short version of this is that this is a study of how our cells regulate gene activity or gene expression, right? And some genes we want to have go up, and other genes we want to have go down. And epigenetics is like almost like a lever system of how cells regulate the body. Now, I recognize that maybe some of you on this call might be saying, what do I care about my cells? But let's remember that cells make up everything, right? So a healthy cell makes a healthy organ. Healthy organs make healthy systems, and healthy systems in the body, like the cardiovascular system, musculoskeletal system, healthy systems make or break the human body. So the healthier our cells, the healthier we will be. So all of these cells have the ability to modulate certain genetics. And so in this study, and I'm not going to go through all of this, I'm going to go through a few, but they tested these genes. This tells you what they do. I'm going to go through it, but I want to kind of share with you why this matters. I got to shrink the screen a little bit here. Okay, so what were the results of the study? I'm going to just give you the short version of what these genes are that were tested. The first one on the left is something called NRF2 or NRF1, which is nuclear respiratory factor 1. And what it does in essence is it causes the body or cells to have more energy. It has to do with energy production. And it does that with mitochondrial biosynthesis. Remember 5th grade science, right? Everybody learned about the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Well, that's where ATP is made. And if you notice that this particular supplement, when studied, was found to upregulate, turn up the volume on NRF1 by 224%. Right? That's very interesting, because what we find when we give this to people in our communities and in our clinics is that they come back and say, I have so much more energy, right? It's really something that you can feel because you're actually absorbing these supplements. The next one over is NFKB, that stands for nuclear factor kappa beta. I think not important, the name of it, technical, but really what this does, and if you look at this, you can see that this particular gene expression is going down, but actually that's a good thing, because NFKB down regulates cytokine production. And for those of you, if you remember during COVID, you kept hearing about the cytokine storm, right? And that, in fact, with COVID is what killed us, right? It was when the cytokines storm happened, and which is that aggressive healing response that actually, when goes out of control, can actually kill us in the case of COVID. So what these supplements have done has down-regulated that, which by 172%, which is actually a very good thing. The next one, which I really find is interesting, is PPAR alpha. And what this does, and this is important to the topic matter today, is it controls lipid metabolism, glucose metabolism, and energy homeostasis. What do those three things mean? Lipid is fat and metabolism. It's how your body burns fat, right? We want to be really good and efficient at burning fat. Glucose metabolism is a challenge for many of us. I put myself in this category because I am a type 2 diabetic. We have challenges with glucose metabolism, and this upregulates that by 216%, and energy homeostasis, which I could talk about for a long time, but I'm not going to. Next one over is SOD1, superoxide dismutase 1, and all you need to know there is that this upregulates a very strong superoxide radical. People have heard of free radicals, right? It's an antioxidant which helps to contain or control free radicals. And failure to do so leads to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, ALS, Parkinson's. So really important that pathway. Look at the next one. Does that sound familiar? GLP1. What was Dr. Roy talking about? And one thing that we didn't say is that GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1, is actually what we call the satiety hormone, and your body actually makes GLP-1. And so look what it does to GLP-1. It upregulates your own production, your body's production, by 348%. That is phenomenal. Perhaps the reason why, now that I'm using this with my weight loss protocols, people come in and they say, last time I tried this program, I was hungry all the time. This time I'm not hungry. Okay, because, again, how great is that? If we could, Dr. Roy said, if we can keep those doses low, she said going low and slow, those of you concerned about side effects, when you go low and slow, and maybe you're using some of these tools and upregulating your own GLP-1, perhaps you can stay on the lowest dose for longer. All right, so the next one over is BDNF, that's brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Look at that 840% increase. You guys get excited because what this pathway does is it affects your brain, which means learning, memory, mood, and overall health. And this is one of those factors that really is hot topic right now, really being studied because of so many people with neurocog issues like dementia, Alzheimer's, and aging dementias and that. So how great is that? The last one there is IL-6 or interleukin-6, and this is another one of those inflammation pathways that when upregulated, inflammation goes out of control. And you can see that this is actually down-regulating or turning down the volume on IL-6. So that is just this one Vitality Pack, Vitality Pack, which is the this is just the basic multivitamin. So next, right? Another one, and you can see what it does. This is another one. Those of you who have pain syndromes, back pain, neck pain, any kind of inflammation in the body, including your gut, this Revive is they talk about it being a natural anti-inflammatory. I'm not going to get into what is in this, but there is so much good stuff in this supplement that when you hold it in your hand, you can smell the curcumin, the turmeric that's in it. It's a fabulous product. But Just quickly going to the GLP-1, this one also upregulates GLP-1. So there's a reason for you to potentially take both of these. And that NRF1 for more energy, and the PPA alpha, which is, the fat metabolism and uh, glucose metabolism for those diabetics. So get on this one. And then the last one I'm going to just talk about, and I'm seeing so many more people interested in collagen. And I just want to say a couple of things about this. Again, this is helping with your fat metabolism, but we all, and these great and wonderful genetics. This one doesn't affect GLP-1s, but what you're going to notice is when you're losing weight, we know certain things happen when you're losing weight. You might experience, as your body is burning fat, you might experience hair loss. You might experience, that sagging of the skin. Now, hopefully, we are going to be mitigating those things. The drugs don't cause that. You understand that, right? It's a poor diet that can cause some of these things. But having said all that, you are not going to be hungry as you move along with this. And so you're going to be eating less, and you're going to need to be supplementing with the multivitamin at the very least, but potentially for the hair, the skin, the nails, your gut, and your joints, using this collagen. And the biggest thing I want you to know about collagen is this is notoriously one of the hardest supplements for the body to break down and to assimilate. And by assimilate, I mean absorb. And so collagen is notoriously a very large molecule. Well, this company uses 11 different nanotechnologies to improve how the body absorbs these. And so this is in liquid form. It's a beautiful, safely sustained marine collagen, which for me is my favorite for joints and for hair and skin. So that's a good one. So these are things that is you guys decide, if GLPs are right for you, you might want to upgrade these as well, and your coach will guide you in terms of which ones are the right one for you. And so, just introducing, these are all of the products available through this company, and what I love about this is this company decided, hey, what are the things that promote longevity and health? And they took all the things all the substances, the phytonutrients that are beneficial to health, and they put it into a system of 6 delivery forms that you're looking at on the screen right now. I'm very impressed with this, and what I see is I know when things work is because people come back and they keep buying it, and so this is one of those.